Hi friends, this is Jagdish, and as a part of my class today, I am going to discuss image formation and derivation of curved surface formula, right? So in order to have a derivation for curved surface, we need an image, right? So that image I am going to draw here, which is a curved surface, which is a curved surface. So assume this as a curved surface which is separating two medium n1 and n2. Here n1 is a rarer medium and n2 is a denser medium, right? N1 is rarer and n2 is rarer, so denser medium. The geometrical center of this curved surface is a pole, right? And it going to have some center at here, right? So a line joining the line joining the pole and the center of curvature, the pole and center of curvature is a principal axis. The line joining pole and center of curvature is a principal axis. So in order to get an image, I'm considering a point object on the principal axis, which is named as O. O is the point object which is placed on the principal axis. In order to get an image, at least we require two rays, right? So one such incident light ray is a principal axis, right? According to our rules, we can say that principal axis is also one such incident light ray which passes from rarer to denser medium through a certain point on a curved surface called pole without any deviation, right? So another incident light ray is passing along the line. So this another incident ray, take it as I1, and this is I2. I2 is the incident light ray which is meeting this curved surface at a point A, and it passes from rarer to denser medium, right? So if you want, how does the light ray behaves after entering into the denser medium? Try to draw a normal at this point. So this dotted line represents the normal, right? So as we know that the incident light ray, the object light ray is making certain angle with the principal axis, take it as alpha, and the normal which is making certain angle with the principal axis is beta, right? The refracted light ray, after entering into the denser medium from rarer medium, it bends, right? And that light ray passes to the denser medium and meets the principal axis at a certain point I. I is the image of an object O, right? I is the image of an object O. So it makes the certain angle, I mean refracted light ray makes certain angle with the principal axis, that is gamma, right? And the angle made by the incident light ray with the normal is taken as theta 1, and the angle made by the refracted, here red line shows refracted light ray, right? Refracted light ray with the normal is theta 2. So this is about the formation of image. Next is, we need to draw a relation for the curved surface formula. In order to that, I am drawing a small line which is perpendicular to the principal axis, which meets the point of incidence at A, right? I am naming this as N on the principal axis, right? So in order to write the derivation, how can you get the relation? So we know that here we have many triangles, it is visible to us, right? So we need to draw a relation from these triangles, right? So if you know the nature, if you want to find the nature, object is at here, the image is at here, So which is a real image which is formed, right? Next is alpha, beta and gamma are the three angles made by these light rays with the principal axis. Next is consider consider PO, right? We know here PO is an object distance, PI is the image distance, and PC is the radius of curvature. So in all the triangles which are visible on our screen, so I'm considering the triangle ACO. ACO. I'm considering the triangle ACO. So from this triangle, I can get the relation for theta 1, right? Theta 1 is the exterior angle and alpha, beta are the two interior angles. So we know from the geometry that exterior angle is equal to sum of interior angles. So I can get the expression theta 1 as equal to alpha plus beta. Theta 1 is equal to alpha plus beta. So I'm naming this equation as 1. I have given 1. So the next, consider the other triangle ACI. Consider the other triangle ACI. ACI. Here beta is the exterior, theta 2 and gamma are lying interior. So beta is equal to, from this I can get the relation beta is equal to theta 2 plus gamma. So but we require the expression for theta 2. So I can write this equation as theta 2 is equal to, if you send this gamma to this side, it becomes beta minus gamma. So this is the expression for theta 2. So I'm taking this as equation number 2, right? So now according to the Snell's law, according to Snell's law of refraction, Snell's law. So what does this Snell's law says? N1 sine theta is equal to N2 sine theta. Means nothing but here theta and this can be also written as N1 sine I is equal to N2 sine R, right? So here I and R are theta 1 and theta 2. So I'm taking this as theta 1 and theta 2. N1 sine theta 1 is equal to N2 sine theta 2. So where N1 is a rarer medium, N2 is a denser medium. Substitute theta 1 and theta 2 values in this equation number 3, right? So substitute theta 1 and theta 2 values in equation number 3, right? So what happens if I substitute N1 sine theta 1? Theta 1 means alpha plus beta is equal to N2 sine theta 2. Theta 2 is nothing but beta minus gamma. So N2 sine theta beta minus gamma. We know that as the angles are very close to each other, as the angles are very small, so it going to reside with this principal axis, right? It going to reside with this principal axis. So these rays, I mean these light rays which are very close, extremely close to this principal axis, can be said as paraxial rays. These rays are said to be paraxial rays. So these due to their close approximity, to the principal axis, the angles made by the rays alpha, beta, gamma, I mean these rays are extremely small. Due to this, approximation is called as paraxial approximation. So as a result, what happens? As a result, sine alpha plus beta is equal to alpha plus beta, and sine beta minus gamma is equal to beta minus gamma. So placing these two values in the above equation, number 4, what happens? N1 sin alpha plus beta is equal to alpha plus beta is equal to N2 sin beta minus gamma is equal to beta minus gamma. So this is the equation what we got from the above expressions, right? Take this as equation number 5, right? So if it is equation number 5, just do a small thing here, that multiply this with everything, right? It becomes n1 alpha plus n1 beta is equal to n2 beta minus n2 gamma. So name it as equation number 5 only. Okay, right? So after this, what you must do is, we said that all the angles are very small, so from this triangle I want to find out the values of alpha, beta, gamma. From these triangles I want to find the values of alpha, beta, gamma. How can I find it out is a question, right? So in order to find the alpha, beta and gamma, so how, see here, for finding out alpha, see, so consider the triangle AON, right? So in this triangle AON, so have a small rough diagram here. So in this triangle AON, right? So this is A, this is N, and this is O, and this is alpha. So how can you get the angle alpha? Means alpha, or we can take tan alpha from our trigonometry. Tan function is opposite by adjacent, right? Opposite by adjacent. So as opposite by adjacent, no, so tan alpha is very small angle, so I can take alpha is equal to opposite by adjacent, which is nothing but opposite side is an by adjacent side is no. So in if you want to find out beta, tan beta, so the same in the triangle a, in the triangle n a and c, this is beta, no? So tan beta can be found by a n by nc. So beta is equal to a n by nc. And same gamma in the triangle a n c, this is angle gamma. Tan gamma is equal to a n by n c, a n by n c, sorry, this is I, right? A n by n I. So gamma becomes a n by n I. So we have got now alpha, beta and gamma. Substitute alpha, beta, gamma in equation number 5, right? Substitute alpha, beta, gamma in equation number 5, right? So what you're going to get, right? What is equation number 5? n1 alpha plus n1 beta is equal to n2 beta minus n2 gamma. So n1 into alpha value, here what we got is an by no. Alpha is an by no plus beta value is n1 into an by nc is equal to n2 beta is an by nc minus n2 into an by ni, gamma value, right? So if you carefully observe, in all the numerators here an is common, right? I'm taking out an common. So if I take common in LHS and RHS, an, if it comes outside, it becomes n1 by no plus n1 by nc is equal to an into n2 by nc minus n2 by n into I, right? an gets cancelled. Now remained with n1 by no plus n1 by nc is equal to n2 by nc minus n2 by n into I. So this is what remained, right? So as nc and nc are quite same here, bring this n1 to this side in order to get a formula n1 by no. If this is brought here, it becomes plus n2 by ni, which is equal to n2 by nc minus n1 by nc. If this is brought this side, it becomes minus, right? So this is n1 by no plus n2 by ni. So from these two I can take nc as common and write n2 minus n1 by nc. So this is the equation that we got here. So at the starting of the formula, we said PO is an object distance, PI is the image distance, and PC is the radius of curvature. So as P and N are very close, so this PC is nothing but a radius of curvature. Then as P and N are very close, we can neglect this small distance as P tends 0, means nothing but N is represented as P and N are very close, so N is replaced by P in all the cases. So then NO becomes PO. So PO is nothing but object distance. So object distance, generally as per sign conventions, right, object distance is represented with the symbol U, and Ni is N is replaced by P, no? So it is Pi, which is image distance, right, which is equal to V. Next, NC is replaced by PC, which is radius of curvature, which is equal to R. So as we know that the sign conventions, right? So what does the sign conventions represent here? See, as the incident light is in this direction, first sign conventions is that all the distances should be measured only from the pole. So P2O, P2C, P2I, all the distances must be measured only from the pole. The next one is the incident light is in this direction and you are measuring the object distance in opposite. See, you are measuring PO, not OP, right? So because according to our first sign conventions, it is all the distances should be measured only from the pole. So as it is opposite to that of incident light, so PO is taken as minus U, where minus represents it is opposite to that of incident light. Next, PI is represents PI is a image distance, which is usually represented with the symbol V, right? So as PI is in the direction of incident light, see, you are measuring in this direction, incident light is also in the same direction. So Pi is V. PC means plus V. PC is radius of curvature. PC, P to C, the distance from P to C is radius of curvature, right? So it is also in the same direction of incident light. So it can be taken as positive. According to sign conventions, PO is taken as minus U, PI is taken as plus V, PC is equal to radius of curvature plus R, right? So it is minus U. Substitute all these in the case of in equation number 6. So N1 by NO is replaced by PO plus N2 by Ni is replaced by Pi, which is equal to N2 minus N1 by NC means nothing but PC, right? So we know that Pi, PC and PO as N1 by PO means minus U, object distance. plus n2 by pi is plus v is equal to n2 minus n1 by pc is nothing but radius of curvature r, right? So this is the equation. I'm just reshuffling. N2 by v minus n1 by u is equal to n2 minus n1 by r. So this is the required equation for a curved surface. This is the required equation or required formula for curved surface. So can we get the equation from for plane surface by using the curved surface? Means yes, it is possible. So for a plane surface, so if we have a plane surface like this, so can you say the radius of curvature, where does it going to be? It is not possible. So the radius of curvature will be at infinite distance. So means r is at infinite for a plane surface. So if r is infinite, 1 by r is equal to 1 by infinite, which is equal to 0, right? Which is equal to 0, right? As it is equal to 0, right? Substitute this in place of this curved surface. n2 by v minus n1 by u is equal to 1 by r is 0. 0 means something by 0 is nothing but 0, right? So it is totally something into 0, it is 0. n2 by v is equal to, if you send to that side, it becomes positive, into n1 by u. n2 by v is equal to n1 by u is the required equation for a plane surface. Thank you.